Hi everyone, Jeff McGee here with another how-to video. Today what I thought we'd talk about was a motorcycle lift, a two-wheel motorcycle lift. I made some modifications to it for my Spyder. Spyder, obviously two wheels in the front, one in the rear. Two-wheel motorcycle lift would obviously work with the side extensions. However, manufacturer that I've been dealing with, Premium Bike Lifts, I don't even want to give them a plug, but however, just to let them know that, if they're watching the video, your service, your support is absolutely horrible. Two different occasions, went on your website, filled in all the paper or all the information that they're asking for, filled that out twice, no reply either time. I even said, by text, phone call, or even email. What I wanted to do was purchase your side extensions with your ramps so that I could actually use it as a functional bike lift for my Spyder. However, again, no response, no reply, nothing. So I thought, what the heck? If they can make it, I certainly could. So what I thought I would do was give you an idea of what you could do. Cheap, easy, very effective. I think it's great. So what I did was, instead of the side ramps or the side extensions, the wheels at the front stick out, relatively much wider than the bike lift. And by the end of the video, I'll tell you exactly the measurements. I just don't have them off the top of my head right now. But what I did was, I thought, with the side extensions, reaching in, doing any service on the Spyder, you're probably going to be out another at least 24 inches. Great for a workbench, but kind of cumbersome. So I thought, if I can get closer to the lift itself, work underneath the machine, probably be better. So let's have a look and show you what I've done. So here we have the two-wheel motorcycle lift that I've made adaptable to the Spyder. Like I said, Spyder's two wheels in the front, one in the rear. So here we have the wheel chock. That's a Condor wheel chock. Normally made for a trailer, so when you're trailering it, you just drive into the trailer, you ride into the chock, stabilize the machine while you get out the machine, and you can tie it down. So I thought, that's a great idea. When I had the two wheels, same thing, put it up on the lift, drove the motorcycle on, got out the machine once it was in the wheel chock, super stable while I got off and tied the machine down. You can see the eyelets there, where once I got out the machine, I tied it, strapped it down. There were times when, the Condor lift, super stable, super secure. I never even bothered when I raised the machine or even lowered to tie it off. It was such a great device. So didn't want to really take that off of the lift because I do service on two-wheel machines. So to take that off, probably not really necessary. So I thought I'd leave that on. Take the wheel chock off, easily adjustable. So I just pulled the pins, pulled the chock right out, and that was that. Here I've got the, I'm going to call those, instead of side extensions, side extension platforms. That's what I'll call them, okay? And all they are is just simple, plywood, boxed in by some 1x3s. Very, very simple, very inexpensive. Probably took me maybe half hour to modify those side platforms up. Threw some cheap wood, not wooden, but they're plastic wheel blocks. Got those at a local surplus store, about $5 Canadian. And all that does is that just prevents me from my rear tire on the Spyder coming all the way back and possibly falling off. Now, I should also say the reasons why I have that piece of wood there is just because of the width of the rear tire on the Spyder, about ½ inch wider than the angle of the aluminum there. So, and I didn't want to scuff the sidewall. So what I thought I would do is just leave that 2x6 in there. It's just long enough, and I'll show you once I put the Spyder on exactly what that's for. So what that does is it just raises the tire height a little bit so that it doesn't scuff the sidewall of the tire once it's sitting on the wheel block. Alrighty, so again, back to these side extensions. What I did was these 1¼ stainless steel pins. I ordered them to length. I think the the standard stock ones that come with this premium bike lifts. And again, I don't know why I'm giving them a plug. However, if they're listening, watching the video, fix your service. It needs some work. So anyway, 1.25" pin, stainless steel. I didn't want them to rust, and certainly didn't want to paint them. 68 inches long. Okay, so from the pin, outside the pin is 68 inches. Now the manufacturer supplies the 48 inches, the pins for those side extensions when you order them. Now they fit in this hole here as well as this hole here. Okay, the holes in the back that I'll show you the modification I did for them, they only go from the inside of this cover to the outside, and that's the only reason why is because this cover comes off. And on a two-wheel motorcycle, what you do is when you're replacing the rear tire or doing any service work on the back and you want to drop your wheel, it gives you an inspection hole that you can actually drop the tire down there. That back ramp comes off, it's just pinned in there. Okay, I'll show you all that. And you can just drop that cover out of there and the rear tire comes right down instead of lifting the machine up. Okay, really slick. However, what I did notice, and before I did the modification, is I just did a pin, and I believe it was about 30 inches long. But the only thing was the weight of the Spyder on the front, not having a pin going from side to side, it started warping the side rail a little bit because there was no structural integrity to it. So, so what I did was I took that inspection cover off, and I'll show you that now. So I took the inspection cover off, drilled from side to side, and got a steel Dremel in there. Took all the necessary adjustments out, and it absolutely lined up perfectly. Couldn't have been any better of a job than that. So what I did was I just drilled from that side there right through the middle. Okay, I found my center, and then just got a drill bit and opened up that hole a little bit from the inside, and that pin lined up perfectly. Okay, so again, both pins 68 inches long, side to side, and the structural integrity with that pin going from side to side was much better. No problems at all. Super stable when you put the machine up there. Now I just want to tell you that this is only a quick mod. I'm going to actually fabricate some better ramps. Those are just for when I was loading the quads up in the back of the pickup truck or the trailer or whatever. Those are just what I had handy. I didn't really feel like putting the time into fabricating a couple of ramps out of wood. May even make them out of metal. I'm not too sure yet. But anyway, those are just some quick, easy ramps that I threw on there now. I've obviously got them tied down. Not that I need to have them there. Obviously, the tires aren't going to spin. It's not going to come off. The only reason why I do have them there is because, the cost of the bike. If something were to happen, slide out for whatever reason, I feel like a fool not having, 50-cent straps tying that ramp down before I load the machine on. So again, these blocks, surplus store, $5 Canadian. And again, the reason why I have them there is so that the rear tire doesn't go up over the back end and be a fool. Alrighty. So what I'm going to do is open up the garage door, back the Spyder in, and show you what I've actually come up with. Now, also want to show you before I back the Spyder in, I did have, I just don't know where I put them, a couple of non-skid abrasive pieces of tape, 4 inches wide, I think 18 inches long. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put one on the ramp, one on that inspection cover when it's back on the cover there, and then probably put the strip of tape right back up through until I reach the wood or the wheel chock. All right, that just gives me a little bit more grip. What I do notice is that once I get halfway up to the ramp, and just to make sure that I'm lined up properly, I sometimes get off the machine, and when I go to restart the reverse again, the tire slips just a little bit until I get a little bit of momentum, and then it comes up and goes back on there, no problem. So just to prevent that tire slip, throw some abrasive tape on there, and that would work some wonders. So What I'm going to do is go out there, start the machine. It's been out there for a couple minutes, so I'll warm it up, and I'll show you the video of me backing the machine on. Alrighty? Now, I've only done that a few times, and it's been pretty slick, so I'll try and get it on the first shot. And there we have it. So here we are with the Spyder on the lift. And I just wanted to show you a little closer up of what the rear tire without that block of wood will be doing. So all I got is that 2x6 in between the two aluminum channels, or the angle iron, just to raise the sidewall up a little bit. As you can see, the sidewall of the tire sticks a little bit out, a little bit further. So instead of taking that wheel chock off, I decided to leave it in there, just raise the tire up a little bit. Don't worry about scuffing it. Just saves a lot of grief and aggravation if I wanted to put a two-wheeled motorcycle back on there and do a service on there. So much nicer to do an inspection of the machine. Serviceability greatly improved. Sorry for the dirt on the machine, but I was just out riding today and never had a chance to clean it down. So anyway, like I say, just the overall service of the machine, so much easier when it's up in the air. For certain components of it, for sure. If you're doing anything on the top, your ground height would be plenty. Taking panels off this way, a little bit of reaching, but 90% of the time when the panels are off, you're underneath the machine or alongside the machine anyway. So working at, our head height is probably ideal. All right. So, and just the way that I have these temporarily tied down, it's great for me. I'm going to modify it. Once I do that, I'll post another video, throw another video up just to show you what the end results were. But for now, hey, this close to winter, nearing the end of October, that'll be probably a winter project. So like I say, anything service associated with the Spyder, the $1,000 for the lift, pins, platforms, probably another $150. That website, I don't want to tell it again, but that website, they were $250, but you never get them anyway. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And that ramp, as you see me back on there, you probably have seen the mud flap scuff up against that. So that's because the angle of the platform is so steep. So what I would probably do is extend that middle ramp along with the two side ramps and have a gradual ascending onto the ramp as opposed to a steeper one. So that mud flap probably won't scuff. As I take the machine off of the lift, it does scuff the back of the mud flap. No damage, but you would see that it just rubs against it. They're rubber. That's the whole purpose of them, is to take that kind of abuse, that's not the only reason, obviously, to keep the splash down and everything else for traffic behind you, but it's durable. Like I say, I've only had it on there a few times, so all in all, pretty cheap, pretty easy. Definitely, safety warning. Obviously, throw your safety stand there once you get it to a working height there. Don't leave it without the stand. You don't want to be working on the machine or have your feet there, and all of a sudden the machine comes down, you got a pinch point, and you hurt yourself. So a little bit of a safety video as well. All right.